Hello, my name is Michael Kerins. I'm a storyteller. I live in Glasgow in Scotland, and I have an Advent story for you. The story is not particularly about Christmas, but it's a funny story and I hope it makes you laugh. Once there was a man who decided that he was fed up with his job. It was a dirty job and a smelly job, and he was so uncomfortable doing it, cleaning out toilets, and just a miserable job. So he decided that he would get a job teaching the king's horses to talk. Because of his status, he was never allowed to speak directly to the king, unless, of course, the king never spoke to him, but that never happened. So he just said, I think I'm going to teach the king's horse to talk. And he said it out loud. And somebody heard him and said, you're going to teach the king's horse to talk? He said, well, yeah, sure, why not? And somebody else heard them. And this started to go up the different levels of the society of the palace, from the very, very dungeons where he lived and worked, to the ground level, to the up to the royal apartments. And once the news was in the royal apartments, it didn't take any more than 20 minutes for the king to hear about this. So the boy was sent for, and the young man, well, of course, he couldn't go to see the king like that because he was covered in filthy clothes and it's very, very smelly. And so they had to wash him and shampoo him and put him in fresh clothes. And then they said, well, you should go and see the king. So he went to have this audience with the king, and the king had forgotten all about it. And he said, well, why are you here? He said, you asked for me, Majesty. And then there was whispering from this ambassador and whispering from this emissary and whispering from these advisors. And the king was reminded it was about getting a horse taught to talk. Yes, Majesty, I'll do that. I'll teach your horse to talk, but there are conditions. Well, I tell you this, the king was absolutely furious. You dare to give me conditions, and I'm the king. And the young man said, oh no, Majesty, I don't give anything. I didn't ask to come here. I was told to come here. I was washed and shampooed and put in fine clothes to come before you. There are conditions. And what are the conditions? Well, there are 3 conditions. 3 conditions, said the king. Majesty, they are not my conditions. They are just the conditions for having a horse taught to talk. Okay. What are they then, said the king. Majesty, the first condition is you should pick the horse. I should pick the horse. Oh yes, Majesty, that's from the very beginning, because if I pick the horse, people will think there's a trick, a jiggery-pokery. Perhaps the horse could already talk. But if you pick the horse, Majesty, if you do this, then nobody can judge you as being a cheat, said the king. Okay, what's the second condition? The second condition is you should pay money. This does not come cheap. You should pay 1 gold coin a week. Oh, the king said, that's no problem. I'm a millionaire. I have plenty of money. And the third condition is it will take 9 years. 9 years, said the king. That's a long time. Well, Majesty, it takes a long time, but I'll come regularly and give you updates and reports on how the horse is doing. So they picked the horse, and they went along and to the stables, and the horses were looked at this side and that side. The king was a very wealthy man, and he had lots of horses. But eventually, they picked a 5-year-old mare, a fine female horse. Beautiful brown coat, thick, luscious ponytail. Yeah, this one, said the king. So the man got on the horse and said, I'll come back next a month and give you a report. And he put his hand down to get the 1 gold coin. Well, of course, the king, although he was a millionaire, never carried any money. So they had to get the money from a helper. The money was came and given to the man, and he rode out of the palace. He didn't go home. He went into the town and he bought fine leather breeches a red velvet jacket, a big brown hat with a white feather that said, "Yee-haw!" And after he had spent this money, he had lots of money left, of course, a gold coin is a lot of money. He had a lot of change left. He decided to go home. And on his way home, he shouted to his wife, "Wife, wife, come and see what great fortune has befallen us." And she went outside and she said, "Husband, husband, where are you?" And she couldn't see him. "I'm up here," he said, "on this fine horse." "Oh, husband, it is you, indeed it's you. But look at these fine breeches. Look at this red velvet jacket. Look at this brown hat with a magnificent feather that goes, yee-haw! Oh, Majesty. Oh, King. Oh, gracious husband. What's happened?" "I have a job working for His Majesty. I'm going to teach the King's horse to talk." And he jumped off the horse and tied it up at the fence. And as they went into the house, she said, "Husband, can you do this?" He said, "Oh, foolish woman, nobody can teach horses to talk. But I have this job for 9 years. We're going to get 1 gold coin and we'll be very wealthy." "Yes, Majesty, but what happens after 9 years?" "Pah, after 9 years, anything can happen. Let me tell you, in 9 years, the king could die. In 9 years, I could die. But let me tell you this, darling wife, if the king doesn't die and I don't die, the horse surely will." I hope you enjoy this advent calendar of stories, and all the very best to you. Wherever you are, whether you support and believe in Christmas or not, have a great time, and I wish you all a very peaceful 2025. Good luck from Glasgow, Scotland. Bye-bye.